Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MPJ and new album review show. 2 brand new albums. Welcome to my crew, William, Trish, Ian and Simon.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. So, what an exciting battle of the bands for new albums that we have here today. We have, in the red corner, Electric CallBoy. There we go. There might be some fans in the room. Versus in the blue corner, Architects. Dun dun dun. So, just to give you a format of the show, we're going to review both albums and then score them at the end, and then decide which one we would buy. However, they would still get ratings. They're still going to potentially get into our Hall of Fame and top albums, and so forth and so forth. So, let's start with in the red corner, Electric CallBoy and their new album, Tekkno. So, listen, this is a great introduction here from Wikipedia, okay, on Tekkno. Electric CallBoy, hailing from Castrop-Rauxel in Germany, formed in 2010. The band's musical style can be described as electronic core, metalcore, melodic metalcore, post-hardcore, comedy rock, dubstep, electro, and EDM. The musicians named bands such as Ask in Alexandria and Attack as their musical influences. Their singer stated that the musicians don't feel like being part of the hardcore music scene. Ooh. The lyrics deal with themes such as getting drunk, parties, and sex. Their band call their music porno metal. In an interview with German Fuse magazine, vocalist Sebastian Beisler meant that their lyrics only use cliches in a satirical way. In the German Metal Hammer magazine, the reviewer gave the band a positive critique. He wrote, that's just a typo, he wrote, "This is why Eskimo CallBoy, not Electric CallBoy."
That is what their name used to be. So that interview was with their old singer, who changed in, I think, 2020 or 2019, and they used to be called Eskimo CallBoy. They changed last year because they didn't realise the racial connotations of having the word Eskimo as their name, so they changed it last year to be Electric CallBoy instead.
Fantastic.
Which is a lot more suitable, and it fits with their genre more, being Electric CallBoy.
Yeah, okay, and this is why Eskimo CallBoy is fun, because they dismiss themselves and let the fun rule. Actually, he wrote, let the rule in the fun. But we'll go. I mean, I can't talk, but there we go. So, well, obviously, we have to start with the obvious choice on Electric CallBoy here, and that would be Ian. Because it's porno metal, apparently, Ian. I mean, did this porno metal for you, my friend? Had you heard of Electric CallBoy before, or what did you think of them?
I had not. Absolutely not heard of them at all before, or even Eskimo CallBoy I hadn't heard of. So in either of their guises, and I do like that little information there, Will. I like it when bands recognise inclusivity. I really do. It's fantastic. So props to them for that. I was torn right down the middle on this. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. From that techno rock, yes, the dubstep feel in it. Oh, it was just everything I want. Everything I don't want is screamo. And I this would have got a 5, if not a 6, from the techno rock side. But the screamo side, it would have got a 1 for me. And I'm just really, really torn on this album because I love it. I really dislike it at the same time. But I think for me, the techno side of it is just it's addictive. It's like a drug. It's just like more. I love that high tempo, feel good factor. Almost the point where I can actually just cope with the screamo, and it is just coping with it because clearly they are very talented, very good at what they do. Just wish they could sing properly. That's all.
Trish, how about you? Did Electric CallBoy bring you in from the cold? Do you like the Eskimo referral there? I think you may have.
Oh, very good. And I am always cold. Pump It is the song that starts all 80s dance pop. And I was like, this sounds like a cheesy dance fest. Then there it goes. The Screamo. But, do you know what? I can't believe I'm admitting this. But there is something that works with the dance and the Screamo. I think the fact that it's quite subtle, as it's not full-on Screamo all through each song, but it's filtered and wedged in between the mainstream singing vocals and dance music. This album is a marriage of pop, metal, punk and dance. The band are clearly having fun on this album, albeit I've not heard their other albums to compare it to, but it definitely has opened my mind, as I did quite enjoy this.
Ooh, why? And this is on the journey, isn't it? This is the journey that we're on now. The person that's on this journey with Electric Callboy is none other than our resident Callboy guru fan. Tell us a little bit about your fandom here for Electric Callboy, and plug away, William.
I quite like this band. This is the deluxe fan edition that I pre-ordered before the album came out. I quite like this band. So, a fun statistic for you. You know, at the end of every year, on our favourite music platform, Spotify, they do a Wrapped, breaking down all the music of your last year. My most listened to song was Fuckboy by Electric Callboy. My second most listened to song was Spaceman by Electric Callboy. My third, fourth and fifth most listened to songs were Electric Callboy. I quite enjoy this band, and I quite enjoy this album. This is a masterpiece, let's be honest here. From, Pump It, which is a phenomenal way to start off the album, to Neon at the End, which really, has a different tone, really, mellows it out at the end. The phenomenal music, like We Got the Moves, Tekkno Train is one of the greatest songs on it. They chug the choo-choo, Simon. They chug the choo-choo. I can say this as a fact. There is no better feeling than being in a venue, and when the da-da-da-da-da happens with We Got the Moves, having the entire arena all doing that at the same time. It is incredible. I absolutely adore this album. I was on Scotland a few weeks ago, and on the journey to the airport, on the plane, and from the plane to where I was going, I think I listened to this album about 3 times, just in a row again, because it's very good. I pre-ordered their new limited edition version of this album yesterday, which was released, which features live versions of the songs too. I think I have a problem, an addiction, if you will, because this album is it's perfection. This was my top album last year.
There are a lot of unhealthy addictions. This is not an unhealthy addiction, from that perspective. But there we go. So genuinely,
despite Sabaton being so good and so big for me, this was my top album last year by a landslide.
Right.
Okay.
So
chug.
So moving off the sycophantic William here, now we do know that Simon is also a fan of Electric Callboy. That he went to that concert with you, but let's find out. Simon, is equally enamoured?
Nothing can compare to Will's favor for this band, but I am certainly passionate about them. They're fantastic, amazingly talented band. The ability to switch between sort of metal, techno, pop, punk, electro beat, it's just, and everything in between is fantastic. The album does not let up the whole way through. All the Euro beats and everything. I love the breakdowns, the screams. Like, the whole album is just an absolute joy, start to finish, because it just keeps you going and going. The band is so much fun, and seeing them live was fantastic. I felt really bad because it's particular circumstance, but when we went to see them live, the band had actually been delayed, so the gig had been delayed, and the lead singer, it was the lead singer, wasn't it? He was actually ill. He actually had, I think was it an ear infection at the time?
Yeah, he's a really bad ear infection, so he couldn't properly, had to wear these big
ear defenders,
things, so he doesn't damage him.
Yeah. But he felt bad because they'd kept delaying the gig, and then he got ill this time. He's like, no, I'm just he's like, I want to perform, I want to do this gig, I want to perform for you guys, and I'm going to have to just wear these giant ear defenders and not go mental. And it was still absolutely fantastic show, especially really good cover of Slipknot as well. But yeah, no, it was really good fun. I absolutely love this. Coming back to the album itself, though, it's just fantastic. So many good tracks on here. We got the Moves, Pump Here, Space. I just name them all. Absolutely love it. It's great album.
Okay. Sorry to bring you all down a little bit here.
It's okay, we can accept some people are wrong.
No, do you know you listen to an album and you go, and you would understand, because there wasn't a huge amount of releases on that, and you guys have gone on then, and this was released, I think it was October, November last year. So it kind of fitted in. It was a newish release for us. So, and I wanted to kind of, this is a journey. You've got to go and experiment, and you've got to go and listen to stuff you wouldn't normally listen to. And the problem with this album for me is that, well, first of all, I could see and appreciate why you would love this album. 100%. There's no denying the versatility, the dynamic, the energy, the different stuff on there. But I had two problems with the album. One was the screamo, as you know, I can't enjoy it. The other was the German techno dance, whatever it was called, was just super annoying, super shite, super awful. It was just terrible, and it's just my worst nightmare, really, alongside Alexa. But at least, unlike screamo, you could listen to it and you could appreciate what you would like on it. The saving grace of this whole album was Fuckboy. I mean that song.
Grace, I never thought I'd hear anyone.
That song is just a phenomenon of a song, an absolute phenomenon. Made my cool playlist. I hope my girls that's on cool list 13 or whatever it is. Please, girls, don't listen to it. But it is a genius of an album, a genius of a song, and that saved the album for me. That made it whatever. But and when they did more that heavy metal sort of that music, there was bits that I quite enjoyed. But I don't particularly like the dance, and I particularly German techno dance, and I certainly don't like the screamo. So for me, there were elements, and I could really appreciate why people would love this album. But there were too many elements of me that just going, I don't really want to listen to that. But it was enough in there for me to listen to it. But there we go. Anyway,
thank God for Fuckboy.
Yeah, Electric Fuckboy is a genius of a song. So okay. Right, well, it's gonna be. Let's go to the blue corner and let's go to Architects. Who are Architects? Architects are a British metalcore band from Brighton, East Sussex, formed in 2004 by twin brothers Dan and Tom Searle. The band now consists of Dan on drums, Sam on vocals, Alex Dean on bass, and Adam Christensen and Josh Middleton on guitars. And they are signed to Epitaph Records in 2013. Strongly influenced by bands such as the Dillinger Escape Plan. Never heard of them. The sound of their first three albums was coarse, chaotic, and rhythmically complex. In 2011, Architects went to a more melodic post-hardcore direction with Here and Now, alienated some of their fan base. In the following year, they returned towards their original style with Daybreaker, established a balance of melody and technical harshness while introducing more polished lyrics, or politicized lyrics, not polished. And with the release of their sixth album, Lost Forever, Lost Together in 2014, the band achieved lasting popularity and critical acclaim. So this album, their brand new album, which is called Classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit. Now, let's go to a broken spirit here then. Trish. Well, only because it's
You're enough to break anyone's spirit, Nigel.
I know, right? Absolutely. Well, exactly. Trish, Architects. I would fancy not your cup of tea, but surprise me.
Okay, so the Architects. I'd not heard of them until I went to see Biffy Clyro, where the Architects were supporting them. They were very heavy and screamo live, so I wasn't too sure what listening to their albums through headphones would be. They are a metal band that use electronics, and it's easy to compare them to Bring Me the Horizon. Maybe that's where they draw their influence from, but who knows, because they do stand out as an individual band. Cannibals is a banger, whereas Burn Down My House is a slower tempo. The album, like Electric Callboy, was not as screamo as I was expecting, and again I enjoyed it as much as Electric Callboy, so both on an even keel, but very different styles of albums.
William, it's an interesting story when I said I put Electric Callboy into the album review, and little William's face beamed and smiled. I went, "Oh, I'm so excited!" I said, "However," I said, "they're up against," and he went, "Yeah, Architects," and he just flopped out of it. "Oh my God, that's evil! That is evil! I love both of them." So, what did this album do for you, mate?
I like Architects. Got the CD as well.
Did you order their pre-release deluxe album? Release
this one? No, this is just a regular one, unfortunately. So
okay.
Take that as you will. I suppose. Oh, this is also fantastic. From beginning to end, this is full of heavy breakdowns, incredible vocals. A term again, probably Simon will probably be more familiar with. Just listen to this again. I listened to it. I listened to on my way to Scotland, and while I was up there, ever heard the expression of doing a stank face when you hear the music? When it gets so heavy, you're just like, oh yes. I was just on the plane, just subconsciously doing that as I just heard these breakdowns again and again. This is again a masterpiece of an album. It's phenomenal. I love it. Deep Fake is not in an incredible way to start an album, but it is, for me, by far the best song in that album as well, and perfectly sets the tone for everything we're going to be hearing throughout this album. The vocals, again, incredible. He's got such a good voice. The way he can transition from, louder shout stuff to more mellow bits is really quite phenomenal. And
wow,
this is very good. Very good.
Oh, we have put you in a spot, haven't we, William? We have made you think about... No, all right then. Simon, Architects. I mean...
Yeah.
You're a fan as well, I believe.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Love Architects. Love some of their old stuff like Youth is Wasted on the Young, Death Wish, Animals, Black Lungs. Oh, God. Absolutely love Architects. A great metalcore band, well known for their iconic breakdowns. Previous album was absolutely amazing, which was for those that wish to exist. Love that album. So I'm pointing that out for a reason. Don't think this album hit quite the same level for me. Not saying it's bad, but I don't think it hit the same level. Opening is incredibly strong. Deep Fake is an absolute banger of a track. Tear Gas is really good, but I do feel like from there it gets a little bit average, a little bit sort of drops a bit. It's not until A New Moral Low Ground that I really sort of get back into enjoying the songs truly again. So, but I say that, but it's still really good. It's still Architects. It's still very fun. But I just think they had, for me personally, they had quite a high bar set with the previous album. So to try and follow on it's always difficult to get a good sequel, and you can't just keep elevating. So it's good, very enjoyable. A couple of tracks have made it onto my playlist already before, but yeah, they had a lot to live up to. Which is always a tough bill. So
explain the phrase you keep using, guys. Breakdown.
How do you describe breakdown?
Noise.
It's usually it's like they're building up a crescendo, and then you get the do and something will break down.
Yeah. Often, in screamo, it's accompanied with a big bit of screamo, sort of like dun, like things like. It's like that,
Nigel, you may understand it better as a drop, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It's kind of the
metalcore equivalent to, yeah.
Okay, Ian, did this give you a breakdown?
That's a really good question, and it's a really good question because I really didn't know how to start evaluating this album, and breakdown is exactly the right word. It's too heavy for me. For my personal taste, it was too heavy for me. That's not to say it's bad. And equally, I mentioned about Electric Callboy not being able to sing properly. Of course, they can sing properly. I just don't like the style. And the same with Architects. I found the album initially. I was very one-dimensional. There's a few elements in there, but it's very much a one-dimensional album. And then I rethought about the album title, Classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit. So it's not a concept album, but it's got a theme. That broken spirit is, broken spirit isn't high volt. It isn't really up there the whole time. It's quite melancholy. So one-dimensional probably was the sound they were going for, in which case I applaud them if that is the case. There were a couple of tracks that teased my interest, but I just couldn't quite get anything more than just a bit teased. But I will agree, Deep Fate, I absolutely enjoyed that. Will, you used a phrase about the face that people use. Was it stank?
Stank.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I just didn't hear what you said. Yeah, absolutely.
I make a similar face when the screamo kicks in.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if I find myself doing a stank face, I know I'm not really enjoying it, but I get it. I think it's a very good album, just absolutely not to my taste, way too heavy for me. But I appreciate what they've done here completely.
Okay, so Architects then. If you can imagine your threshold of heavy rock, in terms of what you listen to being like a 7, right? Okay, and obviously then you have the screamo at a 10. The thing about Architects is that they would jump into an 8 and then come back down to a 6. Okay, and they kept fluctuating kind of between the two. So I go, unlike some screamo where I just would just. If I skip it, I think there was a couple of tracks if I skip, but there was some tracks I wasn't. I could listen to it, but I wasn't thoroughly enjoying it. And then it would come down to, because I do like my fast-paced, heavy rock kind of heavy metal music. But I have a bar, and Architects kept jumping between the two. So I didn't hate the album, but I equally didn't love it. And then there were some aspects that I was like, I could love that. And then they did do a breakdown, and I go, and I want to break down and turn it off. And so it was a bit of a roller coaster ride for me in many respects. However, I will say again, similar to Electric Callboy, I appreciated how technically good this album was and how brilliantly it was put together. There's no two ways about that. And this band is super talented. And you could go, I could appreciate why people like that. And I think that synopsis that I give at the beginning was actually a very interesting synopsis, because they obviously want to keep their core bands, but equally to try to appeal slightly more to the mass market, and they're trying to find that balance. And maybe this album might well find that balance. But for me, who's more the mass market stuff, it was still a bit too screamo for me. But it wasn't as like we like Napalm Death, who I would never ever want to listen to and subject myself to some of that shite. But anyway. So this could be close. This battle royale, which is about to commence, could well be close. So Trish, round 1 starts with you on this one. Electric Callboy, Trish, give us your rating.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Okay. Architects.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Ooh.
Oh, and gun to your head, Trish. What are you going to buy?
If I had to buy one, it's tough. It's both equal, but I would have to say the Architects, as it steers more to my usual listening.
Okay, one up to the Architects. I kind of feel I need William to the end, but he is next. William.
Hello.
Well, I've already written your score for Electric Callboy, but that'll be, I presume, but I'll let you say
5.
It. 5 as our first 5 of the year. Everybody, first 5 of the year. And Architects.
I can't stand of just being the first 5 of the year. 5.
5, both 5s. Right, I was not expecting both 5s, and obviously you bought both albums. But gun to your head, which one would you buy?
I've now technically bought this album 3 times, so I think I've got to go for this one.
You go for that. Okay.
I bought the vinyl, the CD, and this CD as well. So I feel like I've got a
one apiece. Simon, Electric Callboy.
I'm gonna go for my first 5 of the year.
5 and Architects.
Oh, we're gonna go 4.5.
4.5. So 2-1 to Electric Callboy. I know you're talking to you. You were on the fence for some time, weren't you?
I was, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying is you're seeing Electric Callboy twice this year as well. So I mean, that kind of also sells it.
Yeah.
Okay, and Ian, Electric Callboy.
Can you ask me Architects first, please?
All right. How about no Electric Callboy first? You're breaking the process of the show just for you.
There was a reason, but no, that's fine. Electric Callboy, I cannot believe I'm going to do this for a Screamo. I cannot believe, but the album was so fucking good. I'm going to pump it up the score in neon lights. That fuckboy is getting a 5 from me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to divide my distaste for Screamo. If I'm going to listen to Screamo and try and understand it, get into it, I want to enjoy the album.
I accept it.
Nothing's made me want to do that before. So that's why it's got 5.
I accept it. Okay. And Architects.
Architects, just a bit too heavy for me. It's a 2 out of 5, but that's no reflection on the album itself. What they did is great, just not my thing.
Well, Electric Callboy has obviously won it, but I'm so glad I'm not on my own this time in terms of my voting. Electric Callboy, well, if I give it at least a 2, people, it goes into the Hall of Fame. I give it a 1.5. No, I didn't. I actually give it a 2. I did. I actually winding you up. I give it a 2. It was a 2. So, and Architects, I give a 3. So that also got a 3 for my one. So, Electric Callboy, 15, 18, 20, 20. Everybody, Electric Callboy, shockingly. Thanks to Ian, reaches our Hall of Fame. And Architects 6, 11, 13, I think that's 17.5. Which gets into our top 50 albums of all time. But Electric Callboy gets into our... I'm not sure if it's our top 10, but just might be outside the top 10 because it's a 4. So I think it's going to be outside our top 10, but of all time. But so far, it's our number 1 album of the year, even though it was released end of last year. And it reaches in our Hall of Fame and wins this battle. What was a really close battle in the end from that score, but that's part of the journey. And for me, interestingly, and I'm really pleased that we did Electric Callboy, because this is all a journey, isn't it? You know, the whole point about for us in this group is not only to enjoy the music that we love, but to try and listen to other types of rock music and to whether we love or hate them, we always give it a go. So congratulations to Electric Callboy and Tekkno in reaching our Hall of Fame. There's not many on that list of Hall of Fame. I think it's about maybe 11 on there now, and they have joined that. And well done to Architects. Great album. Keep it going. You're in our top 50 all-time albums. So thank you very much for joining us on our new album reviews. Hope you stay with us. Please like and subscribe our channel and keep sharing our videos, and that would be amazing. So thanks for everybody for joining me today, and we'll see you next time on MPJ New Album Reviews. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.